Polls have officially closed for early voting, but those in line before the noon cutoff will still get a chance to vote. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Matthew Foltz. So far, more than 1 million people have voted early here in the Hoosier State. This morning, we saw a line forming outside of the city county building at 5:45, more than 2 hours before polls opened. That line was still going strong well before the noon cutoff time. Election officials say more than 132,000 people have voted in person early in Marion County alone. That number surpassing early voting in 2020.
If anyone's faith was a little shaky, this will restore it, being around voters. And they're not all happy, but they're all doing something that's very important to our democracy.
Polls will open tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. and close at 6 p.m. If you need help finding your polling location, we have a link to an interactive map where you can type in your address and find the nearest polling location. Just head to WTHR.com. And 13 News wants to help you get prepared for some of the items you might not recognize on your ballot. One of them is a constitutional amendment. It asks, quote, shall the Constitution of the state of Indiana be amended to remove the state superintendent of public instruction from the list of office holders who shall discharge the powers and duties of the governor if the office of the governor or lieutenant governor are both vacant. So what does that mean? Well, this question comes down to the designated survivor list. That's who could act as governor or lieutenant governor if the office is vacant. The question asks if the position should be removed from that list. That position is no longer an elected position. Jennifer McCormick was the last to hold that position. She's now running for governor on the Democratic ticket. Tomorrow, 13 News is bringing you total election coverage covering the national races and the top contest here in Central Indiana. We'll have it right for you right here on Channel 13 and WTHR Plus. That can be downloaded for free on your Apple TV, Fire Stick, and Roku. Well, this afternoon we saw rain on our radar, and you can guess that it's pretty damp in Indy as you take a live look over downtown Indy. Still a little bit of clouds in the sky, Sean, but this was some much needed rain.
Much needed. Now, of course, we don't want it to impact voting, and it shouldn't here. But if you've got friends that are kind of still lined up, there's some showers around. And of course, we've got some rain on the way that will impact certain hours of election day as well. So let's start with today. This is the latest radar. And we've got some pockets of downpours. If you've been outside at all today, you know it's unseasonably balmy, and that's courtesy of a pretty steady south to southwest wind here. And I'll dive into the record that we broke this morning coming up at about 15 after the hour. The steadiest and heaviest rain today is basically going to be near and west of I-69, and a more likelihood from Lafayette and Delphi over toward Attica and Covington. The lowest rain chances, and probably not going to have much at all, it's going to be on the eastern side of the state. Muncie, maybe a passing shower. Richmond, probably dry for most of the day. 74 in Shelbyville, 70s in Muncie, eastern part of the state. Almost 10 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. Here's Future Track 13. The rain overall as we go into the evening is going to diminish. It is going to be very balmy again tonight. I'm going to walk you through hour by hour on Election Day coming up here in the 7-day forecast in a few moments.
This afternoon is day 15 of the Delphi murders trial. Just moments ago, we learned the latest from the courtroom about Richard Allen's mental health. Our 13 News team heard testimonies from neuropsychologist Polly Westcott. Westcott says she diagnosed Allen with major depressive disorder, intense anxiety, and dependent personality disorder. That means he needs other people to feel whole or feels he cannot exist without others. Westcott says during her time with Allen, she also learned he has a, quote, extensive mental health history. Now, our team is still sorting through notes from day 15 as our investigative team is back in the courtroom. Over the weekend, we got a look at more of the defense's strategy in the Delphi trial. Saturday marked 2 full weeks of testimony. The court saw videos and heard more testimony about Richard Allen's mental state during his time in custody. The defense is seeking to discredit claims made by the prosecution and phone calls allegedly showing Allen confessed to the murders of Libby German and Abby Williams. Our Bob Siegel was in the courtroom for Saturday's proceedings and is now breaking down everything jurors heard.
The videos were compiled by Max Baker, who was the defense's first witness on Saturday morning. He was able to confirm for the jury that all the videos were taken by corrections officers during a 3-month time frame when Allen was confessing to killing Abby and Libby. It's important to point out, only the jurors got to see these videos, not those of us sitting in the gallery, because some of the videos show Allen naked as he's being transported around the prison. A large video screen in the courtroom was angled and moved very close to jurors to prevent others from viewing the videos. But a few of us journalists in the front row were still able to see some of them. In one, Allen was transported into a building as he was restrained in a chair with straps around his chest and waist and thighs. 2 people stood over him as he appeared to receive some type of medical treatment, and then he was wheeled to a van, still restrained, and returned to his cell. In another video, Allen appeared to be lying down and needed assistance from corrections officers to get up. And in a third, Allen was being showered by officers who were scrubbing his head and back and shoulders while Allen's hands were cuffed behind his back. The jury was told they'll likely see more videos next week that will show Allen's strange behavior in his cell. Again, an effort to counteract the confessions that the jury heard because the defense claims Allen was suffering from mental illness at the time he made all those incriminating statements.
There was our Bob Siegel reporting. We're told this testimony wasn't easy for those in court, especially the families of Libby and Abby. They say they're upset the TV was turned to protect Allen's dignity during the videos while they were shown, while the courtroom saw graphic scene photos of the girl's body. Remember, as we follow this case, there are no cameras allowed in the courtroom. We will have the latest developments from day 15 on 13 News at 4. We are working to get an update this afternoon on the person seriously hurt in a shooting on the city's near northwest side. It happened around 8:15 this morning on West 30th Street near Dr. MLK Jr. Street. Metro Police say officers found the victim at the scene and took them to the hospital in critical condition. We're working to learn what exactly led up to this shooting and if police have found a motive or suspect. If you have any information, you're asked to give police or Crime Stoppers a call. That number is 317-262-TIPS. We're also working to find out what exactly led up to a deadly crash on the city's north side. Our crews got to the scene just after it happened Sunday afternoon on 51st Street near Michigan Road. As of this afternoon, we know 1 person died in that crash and 3 others are getting treatment, including a child. Crash scene investigators say one of the vehicles collided with another while it was turning. Taylor Swift's time here in Indy has come to a close. Her 3 days of concerts brought thousands of Swifties to the Circle City. Last night's show at Lucas Oil Stadium was also the last concert in her U.S. tour. 13 News is still working to learn just how big of an impact it had on our city. But our Marina Silva was at Lucas Oil Stadium last night and breaks down the end of this era.
We love Taylor, yes we do. We love Taylor, how about you?
3 days of glitter, sparkles, and sequins, all coming to an end for the Eras Tour in the Circle City. Tens of thousands of fans have packed Lucas Oil Stadium, breaking attendance records not once, not twice, but 3 times.
So tonight I'm very happy to report that you have now broken the all-time.
Lane and Ollie drove in Sunday for the concert.
Oh, wait.
They landed tickets less than an hour before the concert.
We've been thinking about going for months. We have to drive back to Missouri, but we were like, we're going to make this happen. And so we've been looking all day. Tickets finally dropped to a reasonable amount.
Other fans like Samantha Reeves have been Swifties for decades, but still standing outside in hopes of getting tickets.
I am trying to tailgate tonight because we were unable to get tickets.
People loved hanging in Indy, which went all in on all things Taylor Swift.
Why wouldn't you? Exactly. It's the best place on earth.
Yeah. A 3-day celebration and months of preparation now over in Indianapolis. And Hoosiers are now having to say goodbye. But the music and memories made here will long live for a while.
That was our Marina Silva reporting. This week, we'll be checking in with local businesses and city leaders to figure out how much revenue these concerts actually brought to indie and local businesses. Plus, we'll also tell you more about some of the fans' experiences, including some getting scammed the Swifties are trying to face when trying to find a place to stay.